Travis and Kourtney are making out. They'll be here in about an hour.
Scott's right there.
It's okay. Everything's okay.
Oh, this couldn't be more awkward.
I know we were holding back. That I do know. Like, we weren't, like, just fully going for it. I didn't know that anyone was looking at us.
She found someone. I'm happy for her. She's got a man that loves her, and she deserves it because there were so many years that I didn't put her first.
So where's your head at with Kour?
Honestly, I think for like the first time probably in my life, it's finally starting to change. Now that Kourtney's got her life with Travis, like, as hard as it is, it does give me a place to like finally be able to move on.
Scott Disick reportedly just lost it. And not in the usual Scott misses Kourtney way we've watched on Hulu for 6 seasons. This time, it's specifically about a ring. Or rather, about which ring Kourtney quietly stopped wearing this week to debut a brand new one with Travis Barker. And once you see what's actually going on here, you'll understand why a source close to Scott is telling friends he hasn't been this upset since the wedding itself. So here's what happened. On Tuesday afternoon, Kourtney posted a sunset photo to Instagram. Her hand and Travis's hand, 2 matching plain gold bands, the words "Til Death" engraved on the inside in a tiny serif font. The caption was just a black heart. About 6 million likes inside the first 12 hours. The internet did its usual thing. Sweet rings, iconic couple, forever Kravis. And then, very quietly, in the Reddit threads where the actual Kardashian historians live, somebody noticed what was missing. Kourtney wasn't wearing the original ring, not the engagement ring. That oval diamond Travis gave her at sunset in Montecito in October of 2021 is still on her finger. The ring that's gone is the one Kris Jenner gave her on the morning of the Portofino wedding. And that ring is the entire story, because that ring belonged to Robert Kardashian Sr. He gave it to Kris back in the 70s. When Kourtney got engaged to Travis, Kris pulled it out of the safe and walked it down to her. There's footage of the moment in the Hulu special, the one literally called "Til Death Do Us Part." And Kourtney cries on camera saying she'd spent her whole life thinking she would never get married because her dad wouldn't be there to walk her down the aisle. The ring was the workaround. The ring was her father at the wedding. Kris said in the same scene that Robert would have wanted her to have it, and Kourtney wore it for almost 4 years. Every red carpet, every Instagram post, every Kardashians episode, until last week. Now here's where Scott Disick enters the picture, because if you've been watching this family for any length of time, you already know Scott has exactly one currency left in the Kardashian universe. And it isn't his relationship with Kourtney, it isn't the kids, and it definitely isn't the show. His currency is Robert. Scott is the only person in that orbit who actually knew Robert Kardashian Sr. as an adult man with a daily schedule. He sat at his table. He met him for lunch. There's a whole episode from 2010 where Scott talks about Robert as a father figure, and Kourtney leaves the room because she can't watch it. Scott has been holding on to that for 16 years. It is the one card he has that Travis Barker, with all his money and his drum kits and his Dolce & Gabbana villa, cannot match. And the ring was the proof. The ring was the line in the family that connected to that era. As long as Kourtney was wearing it, Scott was, in some quiet structural sense, still in the room. The rings she debuted this week are not from Robert. They were custom-made, reportedly by a Beverly Hills jeweler named Ophira Sandberg, who also did Hailey Bieber's Eternity Band. The engraving is just those 2 words, "Til Death," in a small serif font on the inside, matching set, his and hers. There is nothing wrong with the rings themselves. They are objectively beautiful. That isn't the point. The point is what they replaced. So when the report came out late Wednesday that Scott Disick was, quote, furious about the new rings, half the internet rolled its eyes and assumed it was the usual Scott bit, the lovesick ex shtick we've watched for 6 seasons. It is not that. People close to Scott have apparently been telling friends he isn't angry that Kourtney got new rings. He's angry that she took the other one off to do it. And the people leaking that detail are not random. They're the same circle that fed the Rain DNA story and the Alabama Barker sleepover story to the tabloids earlier this year, which means whatever Scott is feeling, he very much wants the rest of us to know about it. And now here's the part of this story nobody on the gossip side wants to say out loud. You've been watching this couple for 4 years now. You've watched the 3 weddings. you've watched the Hulu special. You watched Kourtney say she'd never have another baby and then have Rocky. You watched the rumors about Travis and the 19-year-old in February. You watched Kourtney post a 6-paragraph caption in March about boundaries and grace. And now, exactly when the cheating narrative was at its peak, exactly when the algorithm had served you the third Trouble in Paradise thumbnail this week, here come matching rings with the words Til Death on them, and a sunset photo, and a fan edit set to a Blink-182 ballad. You don't have to be cynical to notice the timing. You just have to be Scott Disick, because Scott has been on the receiving end of the Kardashian PR machine for almost 2 decades. He knows the rollout. He knows what a soft reset looks like. The new rings, the matching aesthetic, the Hulu special callback in the caption, the Ophira Peace and People dropped within 48 hours, the friends of the couple quote about how strong they are right now. He's seen it for Kim and Kanye. He's seen it for Khloe and Tristan. He's lived it himself. The season where they were quote-unquote working on things, and then the next season where they very much were not. And he is, by every account, the only person who watched the Rings post on Tuesday afternoon and immediately said, out loud, that's a Band-Aid. The fury, in other words, isn't jealousy. It's recognition. Scott is mad because he watched a ring that belonged to a dead man get replaced for what he thinks is a press cycle. There's a part of this that's almost embarrassingly sad if you let it sit too long. Kris Jenner gave Kourtney that ring in 2022. She gave it to her in a scene that was filmed for a streaming special and then talked about for a press tour and then turned into a quote on a fan account with 300,000 likes. The ring was, in its own way, already part of the machine. The new rings are just the next version. Scott is not wrong. He's also not the only one who clocked it. He's just the only one who's allowed to be furious in public, because nobody on that family payroll can say a word. And Kourtney, for what it's worth, has been wearing only the Travis set in every photo since last Friday. The Robert ring hasn't been seen since the Met Gala after party on May 5th. A fan account on TikTok did a side-by-side. The video has 800,000 views, and the top comment, the one with 12,000 likes, just says, "She finally let her dad rest." That's a generous read. There are less generous ones. Because the less generous read is that this isn't about Kourtney letting go of her father. It's about the family deciding that the Robert Kardashian Sr. era, the era Scott represents, is finally over. And the ring was the last thing keeping that era physically present on someone's hand. Once it came off, Scott didn't just lose the symbol. He lost his last claim to the room. That's why he's furious. That's why the leaks are coming out of his camp instead of hers. And that's why the next few weeks are going to be very, very interesting, because Scott Disick has been quiet for almost 6 months, and the people who know him best are saying he's about to stop being quiet. The ring is off. The story is just starting.